So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, we will be discussing Indian Express newspaper as usual. We will try to go through the important articles and we will go for further other discussions as well. So we will start with the practice question and then we will be moving further with the fact of the day. And then we will be talking about the, you can say our constitution. We know that we are going through part 6 which we were talking about the state governments. Okay, now we will be moving further with the part 8. Okay, you know that part 7 has been repeated. Okay, now important article, if we see today, we will be discussing census very soon, says Amit Shah. Our home minister has said that the census which was pending since 2021, they will be going for it very soon. Okay, then COP29, conference of parties, that is 29 in Azerbaijan, in Baku, this COP is happening. So we'll be talking about the agenda of the COP, what has been what they are trying to do, all these things we'll be talking about. Okay, then we'll be going through the Kuno cheetahs to be set free. We have discussed this, that we had this cheetah reintroduction program in Kuno. Okay, and they were in the enclosures, now they will be set in the wild now. So we'll be talking about that. For your own read, there will be one article and in the end there will be a practice question for you. This is the front page of today's newspaper. You know that there was this issue with respect to the Delhi's State Assembly, and we have seen that Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was supposed to resign yesterday, so he has resigned, and the new Chief Minister now is basically Ms. Atishi. Okay, so that has been decided. Assembly has not been dissolved. Okay, now we will see when polls will be there. Okay, so that is there. Now again moving further, here you will be seeing that J&K phase 1 today. So election has started in Jammu and Kashmir. There is this one article related to, you can say, this particular thing in the explained session. So that is there, you can read if you want. Okay, other than that, Shah says census very soon, and on caste says wait for the announcement. Okay, so he has not ruled out the possibility of the caste census, but he has said that you have to wait for the announcement. Okay, so this is the front page. Now let's see the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture. Which article of the Indian Constitution provides for the establishment of the Election Commission? Article 324, 325, 326, 327. It was a very easy question. Article 324 is your answer. Okay. Now moving further and seeing that fact of the day. Now I have taken the fact with respect to the Arctic Ocean. Okay, and why is that? Because of the climate change, etc., we are concerned that the ice is melting over there. So considering that, I have taken this particular fact of the day here. It is the smallest of the world's ocean, centering approximately to the North Pole. Here you can say in this particular picture, this is the picture taken from the, you can say, top view of the globe, and this is basically your North Pole. Okay, so this is the area of your Arctic Ocean. Okay, now it is the smallest of the world's ocean. Okay, largest is Pacific, you know that, and smallest is Arctic. Okay, it is bordered by Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Russia, United States. Okay, here you can see basically when we are looking at this particular area over here, you can be seeing that this is your Russia, then this is the part of Alaska here, this is there, so this is USA. Okay, we have Canada over here, we have Greenland, we have Norway. Okay, so these are the countries which are here. So you can say that this is the basically countries which are bordering the Arctic Sea. Okay, Norway, Sweden and Finland. Okay, which is not visible over here, but you can see these are the areas basically. So that is about the you can say border of the Arctic. Okay, other than that, there are various small seas, straits which are important over here. Frame Strait is there. Here you can say Bering Strait is there. Okay, and then there are this Chukchi Sea. Okay, then here we have Kara Sea, we have Barents Sea. Okay, so here Beaufort Sea, these are the important seas which you should know, which has been mentioned over here as well. See, Barents, Kara, Laptev, East Siberian and Beaufort Sea. Okay, so these are certain facts which you should remember from the geography's point of view, as well as the climate change related possibilities are there that they will ask you question with respect to the Arctic. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now we can move further to the our discussion with respect to the constitution. As we have seen that we have done union, we have talked about the state governments as well, and now we will be going with the next, that is your, when we are talking about the 7th part, that was actually been repealed. Okay, so it is repealed in 1956 by the 7th amendment. Now coming to the, because why, at that point of time we have gone for the reorganization of the state. Okay, so they are talking about the dealt with the state in the part B of the first schedule. Okay, now we have gone for the reorganization, so we are done away with the part B. Okay, so that is why 7th is repealed. Now we will be talking about the 8th part, that is your union territories. Okay, so that is there. When we talk about union territories, you know that India has various union territories, and when we are talking about the most recent one, that is Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh. Okay, now union territories have, you know, different kind of administrative system. Okay, when we talk about the states have state government. When we talk about you can center has the central government. When we talk about the Pondicherry in Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, they will be having the state assemblies. Okay, and there are other assemblies where state assemblies are not there, so there are administrators which are appointed by the, you can say, president. Okay, so for that there is this process of administration which has been mentioned in the, you can say, constitution. Here you can see part 8 of the Indian constitution deals with the union territories. Following are the important articles under the, you know, part 8. Okay, so article 239, if we talk about, that is talking about the administration of the union territories. Okay, as I told you, in various union territories there are different form of administration. When, as I said that when we talk about Delhi has some special provisions which are given in article 239 AA. Okay, I guess it is mentioned over here. You can see article 239 AA is talking about the special provision with respect to Delhi. Okay, because it is a national capital region. Okay, other than that, you know that there are certain union territories which are having their state assemblies. Okay, Puducherry, and then you can say Jammu and Kashmir, these are having state assemblies. Okay, this is the first time Jammu and Kashmir is going for the state assembly elections. Okay, after the abrogation of 370. Okay, and when we are talking about the other union territories, there are administrators. Okay, which are appointed by the president. As we are talking about the administrator, you know that even in Delhi there is this administrator which is called as lieutenant governor. Okay, so please keep a note on that, all these things. Moving further, article 239A, creation of local legislatures or council of minister or both for certain union territories. That is basically the provision from which Puducherry and Jammu and Kashmir and Delhi, these are getting their you can say state assemblies. Okay, so this is about the important articles from the part 7. I hope that is clear. Now we can move to the next one, and after that we will be talking about the different parts. The most chunk of the constitution discussion has been done. When we talk about the most of the important things, you will see that part 6, from part 1 to part 6 are the most important section of the Indian constitution. Okay, after that there are chances that they will ask you the question, but there are, you know, scattered parts, so you have to focus on the statics, but we will be discussing all those things. Okay, now coming to the first article, that is 100 day of NDA 3 projects worth 15 lakh crore launched. SA says census very soon, on caste says wait for the announcement. Now in this particular, you can say, there was this conference wherein 100 days of NDA third term has been discussed. They have talked about various things which we will be talking right now. The main focus over here is on the census. Okay, now you know that census was due since 2021. You know that from every 10 years we go for the census. The last was done in 2011. Okay, so it was due in 2021, but because of the COVID etc., that could not happen, and that it was postponed, and now we will be seeing that it will start soon. Okay, now coming to the next, on caste census. So on the caste census, our home minister has not said that there is not a no, but the thing is there is a possibility. He has said that we have to wait for the announcement. Okay, third thing is, there are certain things they have talked about the Manipur. They have talked about the, you can say, what is the roadmap they will try to take in the Manipur. That is given in the article. So let's see the article. Now census, which has been pending since 2021, will start very soon. We have discussed that. Now whether the government will conduct a caste census, which is the key demand of the opposition, did not rule out the possibility. When the census is announced, these things will be made public. Okay, so basically he has not said outright no, but you know, after the announcement of the census we will be knowing that whether there will be a caste census or not. Why opposition is asking for the caste census? Because now when we are talking about the reservation, caste census has become a very important factor, because you can say, if you want to, you know, give reservation to a particular section of the society, then you have to come up with you can say quantifiable data. And how will you get that quantifiable data of underrepresentation? That you will be getting from the caste census. Okay, so that is there. Then moving further, question on the recent violence in Manipur and the government's plan to address it. Okay, So basically there was this question which has been asked with respect to Manipur as well. Okay, in yesterday's you can say, or today morning in the In Focus, we have discussed that Manipur situation and why is there is no president rule till now, because when we talk about the law and order situation going very wrong and the constitutional machinery is not working in a particular state, then we go for the Article 356. Okay, but this time we are relying on Article 355. Article 355 is saying that before going for the president's rule, whatever possible options are there, whatever possible solutions are there, we have to exhaust that. Okay, now we are having this you can say, when we are talking about the law and order problem, you can say deploy special forces, you can go for the dialogue and diplomacy over there. So here also the center has said that they will be taking care of it with the dialogue, and they are trying to communicate with the two communities over there. Okay, so let's see. Question on the recent violence in the Manipur, government's plan to address it, the fencing of the Indo-Myanmar border. One thing is, they are saying that the root cause of the Manipur problem is that there is this infiltration. Okay, so you can say other communities from the Myanmar sector, they are entering into that particular area, and that is causing a competition on the resources which are available to the state. Okay, so that is why they are going for the fencing on the Indo-Myanmar border. Other than that, you should remember that we have discussed the free movement regime which is there in the on the Indo-Myanmar border. You can say that 16 kilometer from the east side of the border, either this side or that side, the you can say citizens of India and Myanmar, they are free to move. Okay, they can go for the, you can say, trade, etc. All these things are there. So this regime was called as free movement regime. You have to take a pass for that, and that pass was valid for 1 year. Now we have ended this particular, or you can, right now we have suspended this particular regime, and we are planning to terminate it altogether, considering the infiltration. And why infiltration is there from the Myanmar? Because there are civil war which is going on in the Myanmar. Okay, moving further, here you can see 30-kilometer fencing has been completed in the 100 days, and further you have to go for the fencing nearly around 1500 kilometers of the border. Okay, only 30 kilometers has been done now, and the CRPF has been launched successfully in the strategic locations to make sure that there is this law and order which can be in the control again. Now to make sure that there is no security lapse on the border, then that is why these things are there. Let's say the CRPF situation or the fencing situation. There can be no solution until there is a dialogue between the two groups. When we are talking about these groups over here, you know that the problem of the Manipur is basically a problem between the communities which are living, ethnic communities which are living over here. One is prominent, that is you can say Metis, and second one is Kukis and Mizos, Zomis which are living over there. Okay, so they are saying that we are talking with the Kukis and Metis groups, and they will find a solution by the talks only. Okay, now other thing is over here is that recently you must know that there was this Waqf property related bill which was there in the parliament. Okay, so that was also there, which has been discussed, and they are committed to that. And second thing is he has said that now this bill has been referred to the standing committee, parliamentary committee, and then parliamentary committee will decide on that. Okay, then one nation one election, which we have discussed yesterday also, which we have seen that government is committed to that, and they will be working on that. Other than that, Vadhavan mega port Maharashtra, that has been you can say they are planning to develop it. And this particular thing, when we are talking about Vadhavan, that is important for your these places in news, you can say. So you can remember that in the 100 days, first 100 days, they have actually focused on this particular project as well. And a new national cooperative policies draft has been decided. So they will be coming up with the, you can say, finalized version soon. Now since we were talking about the census, we will be seeing what is population census. Okay, so here you can see it is a total process of collecting, compiling, analyzing and disseminating the demographic, economic and the social data pertaining at a specific time of all person in the country or a well defined part of the country. So basically there is nothing but we are collecting the data, we are analyzing it, we are making into a particular format, we are compiling it better, and then we are disseminating the information. Okay, so basically from the your population census, what outcome you will have, that how many people are there, how many citizens are there in the country, how many residents are there in the country. Then they will be talking about the sex ratio, literacy, all these things which are related to, you can say, population, or you can say all the demographic data which can be extracted from the population census, they will be disseminating that particular information. Okay, moving further, it also provides the trends in the population. Okay, so you can say fertility rate, or you can say replacement rate, all these things will be decided from the population data. Indian census is one of the largest administrative exercise undertaken in the world. Obviously we have the largest population, so that is why you can say this is something, you can say this is the cumbersome exercise, if you can say, because we have one of the largest population in the world. Okay, now confidentiality information, whatever information which is being collected in this particular process, that information is confidential. They will come up with the data, they will come up with the trends, but they will not give the individual information. Okay, now even the level of the confidentiality is such that they will not even give this data to the court of law. Okay, so even judiciary cannot ask for such data, and that is the provision which has been made in the Census Act, that is there in when we talk about the population census, we have the Census Act 1948. Okay, now moving further, here you will be seeing the nodal ministry. If we talk about, so we have offices of Registrar General and the Census Commissioner. It is under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay, now if we look at the legal backing, as I told you that we have the Census Act 1948. The bill for this act was piloted by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the then Home Minister of India. The population census in union it is a union subject, sorry, it is a subject under the union list. Okay, under Article 246 of the Indian Constitution. It is listed as the serial number 69 of the 7th schedule of the Constitution. Okay, 7th schedule is the you know that it deals with the, you can say, distribution of power between state, center, and the concurrent list is there. Okay, so this is about the census and the some important facts from the census. Now moving further to the next article, that is related to government plans to develop fishing infrastructure in the Andaman and Nicobar. Okay, now you know that in Andaman and Nicobar, the Lakshadweep, now government is focusing on these areas. When we talk about the Lakshadweep, you know that Prime Minister has visited this part, and we are focusing on the tourism based economy in the Lakshadweep. Okay, second thing is, now we are going for the fishing infrastructure. When we talk about the fishing, when we talk about the livestock, when we talk about the milk production, India is a leading country. Okay, so we are trying to develop it even further. We are trying that we can go for the export based economy in this area. Okay, so here you can see the center is planning to do to develop infrastructure for the fishing in Andaman Nicobar Island and the Lakshadweep. Okay, the government also has planned to increase the seafood exports from 60,000 crore in the last fiscal to 1 lakh crore in the coming years. Okay, so here you can see fishing, seafood, livestock, milk production. These are certain area where India is doing well. Okay, here you can say India is the second largest fish producing country, therefore it is seafood therefore its seafood export should also be increased. Okay, so basically these are something which are related to each other. So we are saying that since we are producing fishes at a very large amount, we are going for the exports, etc. So why not go for the seafood as well? Okay, now it has approved 3 smart fishing harbors. Okay, so that will be there in 3 different state and union territory. One is your Daman and Diu, second is Gujarat, and third is Puducherry. Okay, so these are the 3 areas, because these are the coastal areas. These are the, that is why they will be going for the Daman and Diu, Gujarat and Puducherry. Okay, moving further, they are going for the 5 integrated aqua parks in different states, and one in the each state. Okay, so Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Haryana and Arunachal Pradesh. So these are the area where they are going for the, you can say, aqua parks. India is the top producer of the milk in the world. Livestock activities contributes 25% of the agriculture sector. So these are certain facts which you can remember, because if they ask a question about the livestock, if they ask a question about the milk production or the export in the agriculture, or agriculture and the allied activities, etc. So these are certain things which you should remember. Okay, now biggest challenge in the animal husbandry sector is that the milk production is largely an unorganized sector. Okay, now if we talk about the Amul, or if we talk about the few other such initiatives, other than that, if you will see, the most of the milk production is there in the unorganized sector. Okay, that is why it is a problem. Other than that also, we are the largest producer, but again we are not much of a exporter of the milk products. Okay, so you can understand that why we are focusing on this particular part over here, that we are you can say blue economy we are targeting this time, that is seafood, fisheries, etc. Okay, Now moving further and looking at the next article, that is COP29 in Azerbaijan focused to be on the climate finance agreement. Okay, last time the COP happened, they wanted to come up with the market mechanisms, okay, finance mechanism, etc., but that could not materialize. Now this time they are focusing that they will be coming up with the agreement on the financial markets, etc. Second thing is, when we talk about the funding, okay, you know that we have this common but differentiated responsibility, that is the concept which has been propagated, where in the developed countries has to pay to the developing countries, because if we look at the history, they have actually contributed more to the climate change, they have contributed more to the industry, they have contributed more to the industrial emissions, okay. That is why they have to pay more, okay. So that is why there was this funds which has been created. It was said that earlier we have this 100, I guess, I'll tell you one thing. Okay, earlier it was decided that they have to raise certain amount per year, but that was not been done. Okay, so we'll be discussing in the article itself. I'm not able to recall the amount right now. Okay, anyways, the host of the this year's COP29 is Azerbaijan. Okay, so it is happening in the Baku. You know that Baku is the capital of Azerbaijan. Okay, so Azerbaijan has announced to launch a new fund here. Okay, so they have said that for to help the developing countries and to make sure that finance is available, they have come up with the new fund over here. Okay, this fund is voluntary. Right now we don't know how much amount they will be raising, how they will be raising, but right now they have said that we are coming up with a new fund. Okay, so it has decided to launch a new fund to support the developing countries action against the climate change. Here you can say, while the countries are struggling to come to an agreement over the quantum of the finance that developed nation must be mobilizing. Okay, now this quantum of the finance for this particular fund is not yet decided. Okay, the name of the fund is Climate Finance Action Fund. Climate Finance Action Fund. Okay, so you can remember CFAF. They might ask you one simple statement regarding this particular fund. Okay, now this is a voluntary contribution annually from the fossil fuel producing countries and the companies that can be a fixed sum or based on the volumes of the production. Okay, those who are going for the production of these fossil fuels, etc., they are supposed to contribute in that. It is kind of a voluntary fund, and right now the quantum has not been decided. Okay, it is unclear how much this new fund hopes to raise. Azerbaijan, a petroleum economy itself, will make an initial contribution. The main agenda of COP29 is to finalize an agreement on the climate finance. As I told you, we are talking about the climate finance. Last time also they could not come up with the proper agreement on this climate finance and the market mechanisms, etc. Okay, now here you can say it includes the amount of money that developed country must raise in post 2025 period to help the developing country fight the climate change. The rich and the industrialist countries have been under the obligation to mobilize at least 100 billion. Yes, that is the amount which I was talking about, that they have said that initially they will be mobilizing 100 billion every year. Okay, from 2020, and after that every 5 years they will increase the quantum. Okay, so here you will be seeing there was this obligation on the industrial country, you can say developed country, that they will be raising 100 billion every year from 2020, but they could not do so. The Paris Agreement, the 2015, that is the last landmark agreement which has happened in the field of the, you can say, climate change. Okay, so here you can say Paris Agreement 2015, however, mandates that this sum must be scaled up after every 5 years. Okay, so you can say after 2020 and then 2025 and then every you can say 5 years, that should be, you can say, scaled up. Okay, there is a little progress in this regard. Other proposals if we see, so there is the pledge to increase the global energy storage capacity by 6 times by 2030, that declaration on the working towards the global market on the green hydrogen. Green hydrogen has been in news. There are various type of hydrogen. Okay, so I hope you will go and check. There is this green hydrogen, blue hydrogen, gray hydrogen. So all these things, brown hydrogen, all these things are there. You can go and check what is these hydrogens, different kind of hydrogens. Okay, so that is there. Moving further, half of the CFAF, the fund which has been created recently, half of the CFAF is proposed to use for the financing climate change project or financing the climate related projects in the developing countries, and other half will be there for their you can say national action plans. Okay, whatever national action plans they are taking up with respect to the climate change, on that they will be spending the other half. Okay, operational cost, it will be operational once the 1 billion US dollar has been raised, and after that they will be going for the operation. Okay, and at least 10 countries commit themselves to be a shareholder of this particular fund. Okay, so right now from this article, one thing what is important for you is that uh, that we have created a new fund, that is climate finance action fund. That is one thing, it is proposed by Azerbaijan. Second thing is Paris climate or Paris agreement 2015, that says that there should be 100 billion raised by 2020, and then every 5 years that should be scaled up. Okay, so that is about the Paris agreement. This is something important which you can remember. Now moving further to the next one, that is Kuno cheetahs to be set free soon, 20 lakh earmarked for the live bait. Now there is 2-3 things. One thing, what is live bait? Okay, second thing is now they are being set free where they were earlier. Okay, and now what is the situation, that why they were actually inside the enclosure and now why they are setting them free. Okay, now talking about this thing, when India's cheetah reintroduction program was first conceived, it was a promising and ambitious vision to see big cats roam freely across Madhya Pradesh Kuno National Park, reclaiming their place in the country's wilderness. Okay, when they were actually bought from African continent. Okay, so from Africa we have actually asked for nearly 20 cheetahs which has been introduced in the Kuno National Park. Okay, when they were reintroduced in the Kuno National Park, the idea behind that was that after some time they will be taking a place in this Kuno, and then again the population will increase. Okay, few of them died, and recent population, if we are talking about right now, there are 12 adults and 12 new cubs. Okay, so no doubt there was this, you can say, increase in the population was there, but the thing is 12 member has died as well. Okay, so since as we are talking about the 12 adults, as I told you there were 20, so 8 of them has died as well. Okay, how they died, there was this you can say infection which was there in the Kuno. After that one Pawan recently he was found dead nearby a water source, so that was there. So ultimately 8 of them died, then you can say 12 of them they are surviving, and 12 new cheetahs has been added. Now they were kept under captivity or enclosure. Okay, so there was this enclosure which has been made because they were new to this particular area. Now when we are talking about enclosure, that does not mean that they have been kept inside a, you can say, cage or something. They have created an area for them. Okay, so inside which they were there. Okay, problem is Kuno is having a prey deficiency. Okay, when we are talking about this particular area and grassland, so there should be, you can say, 837 cheetal per square kilo. Okay, per square kilometer if we talk about, there should be 37 cheetals, but right now that population is 18. Okay, why? Because there are certain tigers which are also present in that particular area. Leopards, I guess leopards are also present in that particular area, and that is why there is this competition. Okay, and now there are predators are various and the prey is less, and because of which also they have to give them live bait. Live bait means that they will be giving them the bait. They will the cheetahs do not have to go for the hunt, they will be getting the food. Okay, so that is also one concern, that they are in the enclosure and they are getting the food. Most of the time live bait is given when when a particular predator has to be tranquilized. Okay, and that is why they give the live bait. But this time when we look at these cheetahs, so they have said that they have to give the live bait because some of them are mothers who cannot go for the hunt. Some of the cubs are very you can say young, so they cannot go for the hunt. Other than that also, since the, you can say, prey quantity is less, there is this inherent competition between the leopard and the, you can say, tigers, etc., and that is why they were kept inside the enclosure, and that has been live bait has been given to them, and because of which the, you can say, cost of this project is increasing. Okay, so when there was this audit, they have said that the cost is higher and they have to actually go for the optimum use. Over here you can see it shows unjustified expenses undertaking the brush was removal, and there was a need for more accountability of the expenses undertaken by the Kuno officials. Okay. Other than that, also when we are talking about the area which they are living in, that is the Kuno, this is kind of a grassland. Okay. So they live in a grassland and they have to make sure that they remove the weed from that particular area. Okay. Right now there is a lot amount of weed which is present in the you can say these are the extra plants which are sucking the nutrients of the other plants. Okay. So that is there, and because of which also the expenses is increasing, and now government is saying that after some time, after monsoon season, they will be reintroduced in the wilderness, and the you can say they will be set free. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Now from this article, what is important for us is that you have to know that why these cheetahs are basically dying, because 8 cheetahs has died over there. One thing is that. Second thing is Kuno and its position becomes important. Kuno is in Madhya Pradesh, okay, in the northern part of the Madhya Pradesh. Okay. Other than that, when we are talking about these cheetahs, there is this new other area, that is Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary, that is also there in Madhya Pradesh. Okay. That is also considered as the second home for cheetahs. Okay. So if they are going for the few more cheetahs from the Africa, they are bringing few more cheetahs from Africa, they will be sent to the Gandhi Sagar. That has been considered. Okay. So you can say that that is the second habitat which can be considered for the cheetahs. Okay. So that is about the Kuno. Moving further, China's Lenovo to make AI servers in India open new R&D sectors. Okay, so you know that Lenovo, it is a Chinese firm. Now they are going for the new research centers over here in India. Other than that, they will be going for the AI servers. They will be making AI servers in India. They are saying that they will go for the manufacturing over here, and idea is to go for exports. Okay, 60% will be exported from the Puducherry plant. Okay, there is this plant in the Puducherry, manufacturing plants is there, so they will be sending 60% of these AI servers for the export. Okay, here you can say Analyze sees this initiative as a strategic push by the company to enhance its technological footprint in India, aligning with the government's Made in India and AI for All vision. Okay, so that is about this article. There is nothing much which has been discussed over here. Now all the factors of the production cycle, they will be considered over here. You can say R&D centers will be open in India. Okay, tribute to all 5 key stages of these R&D centers will be contributing to all the key 5 stages of the production cycle. This is starting from the system design. Okay, when we talk about production cycle, is something you can say that from the starting or you can say from the design till the final product is ready, that is the production cycle. Here you can say the product life cycle starting from the system design, then firmware and the software development, product assurance, security, and the testing elements. Okay, so these are basically you can say the 5 elements of the product life cycle. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now moving further to the next one, that is PM to attend Quad Summit addressed India's diaspora in USA. So we know that this summit was supposed to start from 21 of September to 23rd. This summit was initially supposed to happen in India, but for some reason it could not happen, and then USA has actually you can say asked that they will be hosting the summit this year, and next year India can do it, and we have accepted that particular invitation, and then now the summit is happening in USA and India will be attending that. Okay, in this summit they will see what has happened in the last year and what are the agenda for the next year. Okay, so here you can say 4th Quad Leader Summit in Wilmington, Delaware, that is in USA, being hosted by the US President Joe Biden. Following the request of the US side to host the summit this year, India has agreed to host the Quad Summit next year. Okay, so next time we will be having Quad in India. They will review the progress achieved by the Quad in the last 1 year and set the agenda for the next year. Okay, so that is there with respect to the Indo-Pacific region. When we talk about Quad, there are 4 countries, you know that: India, USA, Japan, and Australia. Okay, I hope that is clear. So moving further, they will be addressing you can say a gathering of the diasporas as well. They will be taking few bilateral events will also be there, because Prime Minister is to attend one more you can say function over, that is the UNGA. Okay, there will be this summit, that future at the UNGA in the New York. The theme of the summit will be multilateral solution for the better tomorrow. Okay, so on the sidelines of this particular summit, Prime Minister will visit, or they will have the bilateral, you can say, meetings as well, and they will discuss the various, you can say, issues. Okay, and then in Quad, or you can say with the USA's, you can say, supreme leader being there, they will discuss the issues with respect to the Russia-Ukraine war, or the ceasefire related issues in Israel and Hamas. All these things will be discussed over here. You can say we have US India 2+2 intersessional dialogue on Monday, which has happened in Delhi. Okay, so they have discussed the matter related to the Indo-Pacific region, Ukraine and Gaza as well. Okay, so this is something, you can say, basic things which has been discussed in this article. The important point is that the Quad summit is happening in USA, and next year it will happen in India, and Prime Minister will be visiting USA. Okay, now next, in the world there is this new thing which has happened, or new development which has happened, that the pagers exploded in the Lebanon and Syria, killed 9, injured 2,500 people. Okay, Iran envoy to Beirut, hundreds of the Hezbollah cadre among the injured. Okay, so when we are talking about the Hezbollah, okay, when we look at this particular issue that is happening in the Lebanon and Syria, so that has happened, and there are people who are saying that Israel is behind that, or you can say Hezbollah is basically saying that Israel is behind that, but that Israel has remained silent on that. Now when we are talking about this particular Lebanon, you know that there is this group that is Hezbollah. That is a group which is, working against Israel as of now, and after that October 7th, you can say, attack which has been orchestrated by the Hamas on Israel, and Israel has, you can say, retaliated, and after that we have seen that Hezbollah has been against Israel, and there are various, you can say, attacks which has been done by Hezbollah over here on the border of the Israel-Lebanon. Okay, so when we look at this particular group that is active in Lebanon, and it has been supported by Iran as well. Okay, this is also a group which has been supported by Iran. Okay, so right now in that particular area there are these pagers. When we talk about pagers, this is a secure form of communication. Okay, that pagers has been used by the Hezbollah cadres because they had this fear that the Israeli intelligence might trace their phones on the border area, and that is why they have started to use these pagers. Earlier their leadership used to use these pagers, but recently after the October 7th they started to use these pagers, and there was this new stock which has been bought recently, and after that this particular, you can say, incident which has happened. So there are these speculations that with the new stock there was some kind of you can say tampering has been done alongside the supply chain, and that is why this particular issue has happened. What has happened actually, that the pager started to heat up and then they have actually blasted. Okay, so there are these 2,500 people who got injured. Okay, now Hezbollah started using the pagers. As I told you, these pager devices has been used by the leadership earlier as well, but recently after the October 7th they have been using it more and more. Okay, now looking at this particular map here, you can say this is the area of Israel. Okay, this is West Bank, this is the Golan Heights, which is the area of Syria which has been occupied by the Israel. So right now it is under the Israel's occupation, and this area over here is basically Lebanon. Okay, and Hezbollah is active in this particular area. Okay, so there are attacks which has happened in the area of Lebanon as well as Syria over here. Okay, and this is Israel, this is the West Bank area which is over here, this is Gaza Strip where these issues are going on right now. Okay, other than that, you know that this side we have Mediterranean, this is Dead Sea, and there is the Sea of Galilee which is over there. Okay, and Golan Heights, please remember these names: Golan Heights, West Bank, Dead Sea, Gaza Strip, okay, Rafah crossing. All these things are important for your examination because they have been in the news. Okay, now last part for you, that is, you can say, for your own read, nature of Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. Now I have told you that when we talk about the union territories, so we have assembly in Puducherry, we have assembly in Delhi, and now we will be having an assembly in J&K. So how the nature of J&K will be different. Okay, so you can go through this particular article. Okay, now moving further, there is this question for your practice: which organization is primarily associated with the resistance against Israel in Lebanon? Hezbollah, Fatah, Hamas, PLO. Okay, so you can attempt this question and answer to me in the comment box. So with that, I would like to take your leave. I'll see you in the next session. Till then, have a good day. Thank you, and if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Have a nice day.